Hey everybody, welcome back to theclinicaltrialsguru.com. Again, it's theclinicaltrialsguru.com. Good questions you guys have been sending me, and I just got back from a long weekend. I had a 4-day weekend, and I've been getting lots of questions on here's a humble brag, on my Apple Watch. Alright, I can actually reply to you guys now through Apple Watch. So if you call or text me, 949-415-6256, I'll literally get back to you like within 2 seconds. Alright? So, for those of you who are new, first of all, welcome. Thank you very much. Make sure you subscribe. Okay, subscribe to YouTube, subscribe to the blog. You don't want to miss out on giveaways. I just gave away a book, Zorba the Greek. So I give away things that don't even relate to clinical trials sometimes. Alright? I try to figure out who you are. I stalk you on social media. I figure out what you're into, and then I'll send you like a nice gift if you win certain contests, right? And I have these contests going on throughout various times of the year, like I just did. So stay tuned. And you send your questions to me, Dan at theclinicaltrialsguru.com. I will create a video for you, and usually I'll keep you anonymous unless you specifically say in the question, hey, you can mention me. Alright, so this one, it says, hey, I love hearing about new technology and strategies people are doing to help improve the efficiency of clinical trials. So I can speak about this issue very well from the perspective of the research clinics. I can speak to this issue a little worse from the perspective of CROs. And I've never worked at a CRO, but I've had many CROs as clients for my consulting business. So I understand the issues they go through. And they go through issues just like any company. And I can answer this question even less so from the perspective of a sponsor. So I'm going to stick to the sites and a little bit of the CROs in this answer. So first of all, just like in the early to mid 2000s, we had a shift from the paper-based CRFs to the electronic CRFs, or the EDC, electronic data capture. We saw companies like Metadata emerge. We saw like a bunch of different vendors at first, a bunch of different platforms came out, and then they all consolidated, and right now there's probably like 4 or 5 big ones that 80% of the CROs or sponsors use for these services, and then you have 20% where that's pretty fragmented, where maybe they have like specialty EDC companies or EDC vendors that specialize in certain therapeutic indications. So that's one way technology changed. Technology always changes. I mean, look, I started this video talking about my Apple Watch. Technology changes. Technology evolves. This iPhone in 2020 is probably going to be like on my eyes somewhere. So technology changes. How does that relate to clinical research? Well, in many ways, it's going to make everything smoother, more efficient. But in our industry, we're really slow adopters of new technology. So right now, as you might notice on the bottom of this screen, you'll see my sponsor. It's the Clinical Trials Guru, powered by Interlinks. So Interlinks is kind of at the forefront of the next generation of technologies coming out. Very comparable to what the EDC vendors did and how they changed the game back in the early 2000s. In the mid 2010s, we're seeing virtual workspaces. So we're seeing remote monitoring, risk-based monitoring. Monitors are, at least the idea is, they're going to spend less time on site and more time actually monitoring the site remotely. So you have virtual workspaces that are FDA Part 11 compliant, HIPAA compliant, so you can put patient databases up there for research sites. You can collaborate amongst your own team internally on different workspaces, and then have workspaces just for the CRAs to have access to, so that they can't access all your files, just the particular things you want them to see. So that's one way I think technology is making clinical trials a little easier. Also, you have the Transeller program, where they're putting all the research clinics, and this is from the drugdev.org people who I've interviewed on my blog before. So if you're not on drugdev.org, go there and register your site, because the sponsors have agreed to create this database to share investigator information with for in order to help the sponsors find suitable sites for their trials quicker. So go to drugdev.org. Another way we're seeing the payments, the way the sites pay the study participants, it's moving away from check and cash to prepaid debit cards. There's a few big vendors in that space. What's another way? I mean, I guess just submitting the regulatory documents, right? Those things are being done through virtual workspaces now too. It used to be fax and email, but now it's instantly. Like once you create a document and you upload it to your virtual workspace, your monitor or the CRA or the person from the IRB or whomever it may be will be able to go in there and see what you're doing and almost collaborate with you in real time on these documents, kind of like Google Docs and how people can collaborate on something in real time. Well, we're not quite there yet, but it's almost going to be in real time. This could be a game changer. Another way technology is changing clinical trials and making it a little more efficient is the way research sites store their data. So in the past, we had, like during disasters, like Hurricane Katrina comes to mind. Well, some research clinics, some hospitals, a lot of companies got flooded. A lot of records, medical records, were destroyed because of the flood. And they didn't necessarily have a backup for all these things. This was back in 2004. I mean, they may have had like a physical hard drive somewhere with all these records backed up, but if that was damaged as well, you're kind of out of luck there. And nowadays, you have, again, like virtual workspaces like Interlinks, where you can create a folder just for patient contact information or just for patient medical records that's HIPAA compliant, that is restricted access to just those people who need to go in there and look at it, which is your staff member, like your coordinator or whoever's in charge of recruiting or the PI, and you'll never lose these things. So if your site does have a disaster or a fire or a flood, or if you, God forbid, lose some documents, you still have them all backed up in the cloud. That's another way that technology is changing clinical research. And a big one, and I mean a really big way and a big game changer, it's already been a disruptive force in this industry, is social media. Specifically for our industry, LinkedIn, right? If you go to my group on LinkedIn, the Clinical Trials Guru Leaders, you'll see people sharing strategies for how to make their sites more efficient. They're even sharing some study leads on there. People are networking on LinkedIn with each other and letting them know, hey, this CRO is looking for sites for this indication. You may want to contact them. Social media is a big game changer, and for business development, and social media is a big game changer for patient recruitment, especially when you think about Facebook dark posts, which are ads that are highly targeted at specific segments of the population within a pre-specified geographic location. Huge. My consulting firm is doing large nationwide recruitment campaigns with sponsors and CROs using primarily Facebook dark posts, and they really do work. They really get the phones ringing, and they get people screened. They get people in the clinic, heads in beds, as they say. So those are some ways technology is changing clinical research and making the whole clinical trial process more efficient. So hopefully that helps answer your question. These are just my thoughts. There's like so many other ways that technology is impacting this industry. I'd love to hear from you guys. Thanks for watching. This is Dan from theclinicaltrialsguru.com, and don't forget to call or text me anytime, 949-415-6256, or email me, Dan@theclinicaltrialsguru.com. Take care.